Oh, there he is. Got him. That's a heavy one. Woo! Hey, FishAholic fam, well, welcome back to another episode, or welcome to my channel. My name is Rich, and I'm skipping over a lot of the B-roll for now in this video, and we're starting it off out here on the ocean in between Montauk and Block Island, and it is like Lake Atlantic out here. It is just so perfect and calm, and it's a weekday, so there's only a couple other boats out here. My good buddy Ben McCarron's over here in his boat pushing the limit, probably running a charter or something, but today I'm hoping that we can catch our biggest black sea bass and or bluefish of the season for the Montauk Anglers Club club tournament. So that's my personal goal, but we'll also probably try and catch some big striped bass to keep you guys entertained, because I know you guys like to see that action. But man, it is perfect out here. Let's start jigging with, I'm thinking, some soft plastics, and I want to see if the sea bass are biting. All right, let's see if we could drop down this Nomad Design jerk squid, which is a new soft plastic squid to their awesome line of lures. And we're gonna put a little juice on here. Rub it all on there like that. Oh yeah, that smells good. And we'll drop it down 60 feet. And I know a friend of mine caught a very big sea bass kind of in this area, and luckily he did not enter the sea bass category for the Marina tournament, otherwise he would be in first place. But I was in first place with my 2.9 pound black sea bass, but another friend of mine, Mike Larson, he caught a 3-pounder recently and weighed it in, so I'm technically in second for black sea bass. But today we're going to change that. We may also get a nice fluke doing this. I'm in the fluke, black sea bass, and bluefish category. But today's main focus is just black sea bass and bluefish. And I really just want to catch something so big in those species categories that no one can beat it, and then I can worry about other stuff for the rest of the season. Oh, there's one. Hey, would you look at that? A micro fluke on the squid. Good to see they'll eat it. The action on this is amazing, especially if you rig it up on a ball jig head like this and tie it direct with a loop knot. Whoa, there's a good bite. There's some fish down there that are definitely grabbing the end of this and just holding on, but not eating the whole thing. Oh, there he is again. It might be all micro fluke trying to eat this. I probably just got that first one because I snagged him. That feels like a sea bass. the sea bass bite was hot, but it was mostly cookie cutter size fish with a couple keepers in the mix. All right, y'all. So our current right now while we're drifting is like 2 miles per hour. And that's pretty fast for this spot and also for bottom fishing. So we're gonna run up and see if we can get some stripers and blues while the current's ripping. All right, let's see if we can get a nice bluefish to eat my homemade trolling tube there. Oh, that looks good. They should hit it. Oh, there we go. That's got to be a bluefish. I don't know how big it is though. It feels like a decent one, but I feel like an 18-20 pounder would be ripping a lot more line out. Oh, it looks like a decent one. Oh yeah, that is a good size one. Woo! He just realized he's hooked. This is the hard part now. Leadering him up. It's a stud. That's a gator. I don't know if that's gonna be bigger than 15 though. That might be like 12 or 13. Let's weigh them really quick. He's a little over 12 pounds it looks like. Good looking fish, but we need a bigger one. All right, here we go again. 20 pounder next. Oh, that's a better one, guys. That is a much better one. Oh yeah. If that's a blue, that might be it, guys. Oh, please stay hooked and don't get sharked, man. Oh, that feels like a really big bluefish. This might be it. If I can keep them on. Wow. That's a heavy one. It could even be a striper based on the weight of it. That is a good one. He's just not fat. That is a gator, man. Seriously. Probably the biggest bluefish for me of the season. Well, let's see how heavy. This one might be like 13-ish or so. And I'm gonna take them back because we can still enter them to win possibly second or third in the bluefish category. Oh my god, guys, look at the screen right there. I think that's a big stack of stripers that I just went over. Let's see if we can get a striper really quick. Oh, there he is. Got him. Good fish. Woo! Oh yeah. That's a heavy one. Woo! Oh yeah. Now that's ripping some drag. I try and crank on them as much as I can with this heavy tackle. One, to get them in before any sharks possibly could get them, and then also just so the fish has enough energy to kick back down after I catch her. This time of year you cannot use light tackle with the water temps creeping around 69, 70 on the surface. You gotta, and the sharks, you gotta use the heavier gear. Woo! Look at that one. Not bad. Got her. She smoked that JVH Custom. Whew. Perfect release. See you, baby. So this bucktail I just caught that bass on is a 2-ounce JBH Custom bucktail, tipped with a little Z-Man trailer that I glued on, and I find that to be a perfect snack for a striper out here. And that was sweet. Big blue, marked all the big bass, dropped the bucky, and nailed them. Let's try and do that again. That was cool. Really cool. I'm the only one out here right now, except for one other boat like two miles away over there. Oh, there he is. Oh, feels like a good one. I was like right behind the boat too. They're all fired up. Whoa, look at that. That's one of the best parts about bluefishing is when they jump like that. Another good one. Gators, man. Absolute gators. So that's a solid 10-pounder right there. Oh, good bite, good bite. Oh, there he is. That's a good one. That's a good one. That might be a giant. So when you're fighting these fish on the troll like this, you want to make sure you keep your engine in gear, whether you're trolling with wire or just trolling with braid like this, because that's going to help you keep tension on the line. The wind right now is blowing that way, so if I took the engine out of gear, we would just blow right to the fish, and yes, it would be easier to reel it in, but there's a chance that I could just let a little bit of slack in the line and the fish could come off. Woo. Another stud. Jeez. They've got the length, but just not the girth here. Another good looking fish. Oh, there was one. Oh, that's a good one. Ooh, that one's heavy. Really heavy. That might be the big gator we need. Whew! Wow. This one definitely feels the heaviest. Could this be the biggest? And could it be a contender to take first in the blue category? Wow. Pulling hard at the boat. Definitely acting like a much larger fish. Oh, that's a big one. Wow, look at the size of that one. Oh, that's a tanker, man. If this thing was fat, it would definitely be bigger than 15 pounds. Let go, buddy. That's a stud. This one might be bigger than the other one I kept. Let's see how long this one is. He's about 37 inches. He's a stud. Yeah, he's a little bigger. I'm gonna keep them both. There he is. Oh, man. Yeah, that's the one we're after, dude. Whew. If that's a blue, that's the biggest one of the night, biggest one of the day. That might be a big striper, actually. There's no way this is a bluefish. Maybe it is, though. You never know. It could be. Wow. It kind of feels scrappy like a bluefish, so it definitely could be. I'm gonna get the gaff ready in case this is a really big one. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Please be a bluefish. There's not many times in my life that I'm wishing for a bluefish. I just saw a big broomtail, guys. I don't think it's a blue. I think it's a big bass. Yeah, that's a big bass. Still cool. Still really cool. There we go. Not a bad one. On the tube. Heck yeah. Look at this cool mark on this fish. Definitely a wound that's healed over, probably from a shark trying to get her. And then there she goes, straight back down. All right, y'all, fun stuff. But as you can see, we're starting to lose the filmable daylight, and it is 8:11 p.m. It's gonna be a 40-minute ride in. So I'm gonna start wrapping things up, and we're gonna work our way back. And I will see you guys tomorrow when we get these blues on the scale. And hopefully one of them will be big enough to get on the board. I don't think they'll be big enough for first, but possibly second or third. So stay tuned. The next morning, the tide and sea conditions were perfect, so I snuck back out for a couple more hours. Unfortunately, I was just able to catch more striped bass and smaller bluefish, so around late morning, it was time to weigh in our big bluefish from the night before at Montauk Anglers Club. I hope it just gets on the board. I don't think it's bigger than 15, but
I mean, you just have to beat Mike Larson. Like a 12.
to get into second.
Yeah, you just beat 12. I think this should do it.
Ooh. Get that picture, get that picture.
Yeah, that'll definitely do it.
There it is, guys. 13.5. Nice stud bluefish. All right, y'all. There you have it. Here is my 13.5-pound bluefish. That puts me in second place in the bluefish category. And what makes this catch even better is my friend Captain Mike was in second, but I knocked him to third with this fish. So a little bit of payback because he knocked me out of first for black sea bass, and now I sit at around second place with like a 2.9-pound black sea bass. But I'm excited to cook this up, and I think fish cake it, which can be really delicious with bluefish. My other choice would be smoking it, but I don't have a smoker, so that's the next best thing. Fillet number one.
Mr. Will, that's the dogfish though? Yeah.
Montauk bluefish, in my opinion, are some of the best tasting bluefish just because they eat so much more white bait in these waters here versus eating bunker and other type of very oily bait fish. They also love to eat squid here, and therefore I think that results in a more firmer and tastier, less mushy bluefish fillet. Yo guys, check this out. So I felt something hard in the belly of this big blue, and this is what it was. It's a black sea bass chopped into. One of my favorite things about this knife is this handle here. The handle has a really nice grip to it. I never feel like it's gonna slip out, and this blade is extremely easy to sharpen after it dulls up a little bit from a lot of use.
All right.
All right, folks, let's get the fish cake started here. I'm starting by sauteing just some green peppers and red onions that are cut into little tiny pieces. And we'll probably just saute this for like 5 minutes or so. And we're out of the sun now, so we don't need the sunglasses. This is gonna be good, very good. And I have some leftover mashed potatoes, and I think I'm gonna mix the fish with the veggies and the mashed potatoes, a little bit of breadcrumb and egg, and then we'll put a little layer of olive oil on the pan, and we'll make nice little patties to fry. And that should be a perfect fish cake. And I also have some of this black noir blackened seasoning from a good charter customer that came back in like June. Chow, huge shout out to Chow. He left this with me, and it's been extremely tasty on most of the fish that I've been cooking with it. Now to cook the fish, I'm going to pour a little water in the pan here. And just heat that up. And we're gonna put our bluefish right in there until it starts to flake and it turns whitish. And believe it or not, the reason that bluefish is really good to make fish cakes with is because of the oil that's in it. If you use a fish that isn't as oily, say striped bass or black sea bass, flounder, then you're gonna have a really dry fish cake. And me personally, I love it when they're moist. That's another reason why I'm trying something different tonight, and I'm adding potatoes. Usually I would not add mashed potatoes, but we're gonna try it. And that's the great thing about cooking, is you can always be experimental and see how it tastes. And with fish cakes, I feel like this is a great way to, to throw in something extra and just see what happens. Let's check one piece here. Almost. Never hurts to check. I haven't made these fish cakes in a while. And I've never made them out of a van. So I have to get creative with my little portable skillet here. It's definitely not the same as cooking it at home. And I don't even have a big bowl to mix everything. I have this little pot. So we'll see what I can do. But I like to mix everything all together and then make all the little patties, set them aside, get them ready to go on the hot oil. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be really good. I'm really pumped. This piece looks done. Oh yeah. Perfect. Check that out. Cooked all the way through. All right, last piece right there. This is the thickest piece, so let's check that. Oh, that's perfect. Throw in a little bit of breadcrumb. Probably don't need much because we have the potatoes. Oh no! Don't waste the bluefish. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Put the seasoning in there. Mix it all together. All right, there you have it. Now we got to get both hands dirty. And we got to make our little patties. We're gonna have a lot of fish cakes. But that's like the beauty of it. Is, you know, you have a little for dinner, and then you can have some for lunch and dinner the next few nights. There we go, we're cooking. We'll put more of this seasoning on this side before we flip. It's kind of like an Old Bay seasoning. All right, first flip. I probably should have let it crisp up a minute or two more. Here we go. Let's fix this a little bit. And I gotta grab some sauce and a fork. Here we go. So first sauce I have here is just a little sweet Thai chili sauce, which I'll drizzle on one cake, just a little. And then we've got some tartar sauce we'll put on the other one. I really should have some lemon, but I forgot to get some lemon. There you have it. A nice simple fish cake made with bluefish. Let's eat. Eating fish cakes always reminds me
of when I was in college, and I made them for the first time for like 2 or 3 of my roommates, and so good. Very interesting with the potatoes, and in a good way. But when I was in college at Johnson & Wales University, I remember still at that time I really wasn't too fond on keeping, say, striped bass when I went to the beach and did a lot of surf fishing down by like Point Judith, Narragansett, and all that southern shoreline. I preferred just to catch keep and bring bluefish back. And I remember I had like 2 or 3 blues that I brought back to the dorm room, and we had a little like kitchen, and I cooked them up for a couple of my buddies, and we were drinking a little bit. I'll be honest, it's college. That's what you do, kind of. Not to pressure anybody. You don't have to drink if you go to college. You can. There's nothing wrong with not drinking at all. But we all ate like 30 fish cakes. But we ate them for dinner. We went out, and then we came back, and that's all we had left in the kitchen. So we ate more. So I made I think 35 fish cakes, and there was like none left by the morning. And my buddies still to this day tell me that they were some of the best fish cakes they've ever had. And I think it was kind of a good idea to get tortilla chips. Like, look at that bite. Now I've got like a really nice crisp crunch. Oh, so good. Let's try a piece with the tartar sauce. That's phenomenal. I'm used to them being a little more firm because I don't usually use the potato. But I like it that it's softer and it's got a nice crisp crunch on the outside. And I think if I was to do this again, I would add maybe another cup of breadcrumbs, and it would have made it a little bit easier frying. Like, there was a couple crab cakes that struggled to stay together, but I made it work. Let's make a little tortilla chip fish cake sandwich. Oh, look at that. Now available here in Montauk, $75 a sandwich. For real, that's probably what it would be at some of the restaurants out here. Oh yeah. Or more likely, probably 3 on a plate for $75 at some of the bougie restaurants. Montauk is not what it used to be. I remember coming out here as a kid, my entire youth, basically, since when I was a baby, and it was like a family fishing town. Now it's more of like a go out and drink and party fishing town. Yeah. Things have changed. I'm sure some people still bring their families out here, but Gossman's, that dock over there on Westlake Drive, that used to be a whole different setup, with a cute little village. They'd have plays. They had all the different gift shops open. You could go to the main Gossman's restaurant or Topside, and you could feed the fish in the water and the seagulls, and yeah, those are good times. And that's kind of where I learned a lot of my striper fishing. I would fish the inlet area over there at night growing up as a kid. My dad and I would fly out here from New Jersey. I would sleep on the 120 quart cooler in the back of the GMC Yukon that my dad had, and then we would roll out of the truck once we got here, make some casts, fish a little bit. Usually it would be pretty good because my dad would only want to leave in the middle of the night from Jersey to get out here so that we wouldn't catch traffic or deal with any kind of hassle like that. And, you know, do a little fishing, wake up after 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and then we would go hit the south side, surf fish up and down the rocks and catch more fish. Maybe eventually get out on a boat or two, but mostly surf fishing. And eventually I got my first kayak when I was 12, and I was so happy when I first bought it because I wanted to bring it to Montauk and get out there and catch fish. And that's hard to do. On the first trip that you bring the kayak to Montauk, you forget the paddles at home. Funny story. So then we go to Plaza Sports, or one of the sporting goods stores downtown, and the cheapest option that my dad and I could do at the time, because we weren't going to spend like $100-something on a brand new kayak paddle, or I wasn't, you know, maybe my dad was might charge me for it. I forget, it was a lesson. But we bought like 2 oars that would go with like a cheap inflatable boat, and I rubber band and duct taped them together, and I was able to kind of make like a makeshift kayak paddle. And oh man, it was brutal. It kind of worked, kind of fell apart, but I got out there and I caught some fish in the kayak. But I was bugging when we were at our first spot. I had the kayak on the car. I went out there to try and surf cast just some blues and bass that were feeding on the surface. And I was like, Dad, I want to get out there in the kayak. Let's go. And then I kind of flipped my lid a little bit because I went in the truck and I'm like, where the heck are the paddles? I'm looking all over for the paddles and I couldn't find the paddles. The fish are out there busting, feeding like crazy. And then I'm just like, oh man, what did I just do? I did one of my first ever dummy kayak mistakes, forgetting the paddles at home. And still to this day, I occasionally forget some things when I go kayak fishing because there's so much stuff now. Now that there's electronics, back in that time, I never had any electronics for the kayak. I would bring one rod and a handful of lures, simple lures too, just bucktails and pork rinds, pencil poppers, gibs, little neck poppers, simple stuff. Well, that was good. Fish cakes were phenomenal. 1 out of 10, 10 being amazing, 1 not so good. I would give this a 9.5. Highly recommend it with the mashed potatoes, just a little more breadcrumbs next time. I'm gonna grab another cake and enjoy the rest of my dinner. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below. And like always, folks, live to fish, fish to live. Cheers.